Welcome to the Echo Essentials podcast.
I'm Scott Clark.
And I'm Dave Dale. We've got lots to talk about.
There's so much going on right now. Can we just go back in... I'm not sure which episode, a couple episodes ago, we talked about, I had the flood here at the office.
And in the city not wanting
they gave me
Yep.
even though they were the ones that installed the water meter and everything.
Yeah.
And they gave me a little sheet says, and they were he says, Scott, I'm really sorry, but I have to give you this.
Yeah.
And it says, we're not responsible for anything that happens. It's like, how could you not be responsible? You installed it. And it was just a quick thing. But I heard from Lucio Pavoni, former principal around town.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, great guy. And he said, Scott, same thing happened to me. I got that same memo. And he told me, it's like, because I used to live in the Pinewood area. And so in the Pinewood area, there has been flooding, but in certain areas, you're actually on rock. You're on bedrock, right? And Lucio's place is on bedrock. And they were, I guess the city was installing some sort of pipes or drainage pipes and then fixing them up or something. And then, I don't know, a week later or something, his whole basement floods. Whole thing's flooded. And then he said, I got that same thing. They had to they dug up the front. They said, well, it can't be us. In Pinewood and it got flooded. They dig it up and they forgot to attach all the pipes.
Oh, lovely.
So he had backup and everything, right? And then they give him the memo. Well, it's not our fault.
Oh, wow.
Or we're not responsible. I shouldn't say it's not. We're not responsible. It's like, it's fascinating, eh? I'm sure there's some sort of legal precedent that they have to do that, but it seems idiotic, doesn't it? Like,
yes.
Even the people that give me the memo, they feel embarrassed to give me the memo.
Well, it's not right. It's not right.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of liability the city faces. I can understand why they have two people now in their legal department. There's slips and falls.
Slips and falls. I fell today. I was telling you I fell today over on Wild Street because of a pothole in the street. And I was asking, what do I do? I guess I should report it.
Definitely report it.
Yeah, so nobody else falls. But you were saying it's interesting because I was parked on Wild. I'm going across to Cecil's. And then I turn around to, lock the vehicle. And then there's a pothole. My foot goes in it. Bang, down I go. Everything, yard sale, everything. My phone, glasses, everything goes all over the place. And people stopped. They saw me go down and they stopped and said, you okay? Can I take you anywhere? And I'm like, what just happened? I'm actually really sore right now, my hip and everything. But it's like, what do you do? Like, where do you go? What happens now? Like, I don't know.
What's the liability?
Well, I don't want to sue anybody, but like, it's got to be fixed.
Well, if you broke your leg, you'd be looking at it.
Yeah, it would be different. But I don't know what I've done here. Like, now I'm a runner and like I'm out in the streets all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's not like I don't know how to navigate around there. Like, so that was a bit of a hazard.
But like I was saying, the liability thing, eh? Everybody's trying to shed liability. They'd be looking at, where were you crossing, sir? Were you actually supposed to be on the road?
Yeah, exactly. You had said I was jaywalking. It's like, I bet you. And next thing you know, I'll have a ticket. That's how that goes down. I'm going to have a ticket. I'm going to have whatever it is, $40 ticket for jaywalking or something. That's the insanity of it all.
Well,
it's
I fell
insane.
in Memorial Gardens once, and I got hurt. I was limping hard for 3 weeks, but I had 2 beers after the hockey game.
Right.
And I'm a public figure almost, writing columns all the time, so me suing the city would have caused a lot of problems.
Right.
And I just didn't want to go through it. I slipped on water that was leaking from the roof.
We're getting great feedback. I really appreciate when people give us feedback because it helps us navigate certain things. And we just got from Jerry St. Denis. I know Jerry's, I think he's retired now. Jerry might be retired engineer. Yeah. Good guy. And, but I saw the feedback where he was like, I like the windows on City Hall. I like the mosaic look. Yeah, I like the randomness.
Yeah, I saw the newsletter post.
Yeah. I go, that's fantastic. Good for Jerry. And it's still silly, Jerry. It's ridiculous, Jerry, and you know it's ridiculous. I actually spoke to a former mayor about it.
Oh, yeah?
And the former mayor says he thought it was silly back then. But he says, you know what? There's other fish I got to fry. It's like, I don't have any time for that. There's other fish I got to fry. It
might seem like small potatoes.
It might seem like it, but there is some sort of thing. There's got to be.
Well, it's funny. I just dropped off one of the Back and Bay magazines to Jerry and his wife Wendy in Corbeil last night. and I saw him walking on the highway. And then I got the email from him because he saw the newsletter.
Yeah.
This is such a small town.
It is.
Small.
It does. That's why I love this.
Yeah, so that's cool. And we're getting some good comments under some of the podcasts. They're really encouraging us to keep up. This last one with Shane Moyer. How do you say that? Moyer? Yeah. Well, Rod Biltz, he loves this stuff because we're getting into the real issues and we're talking to people with different perspectives. But Pat Cooley, she puts a lot of comments underneath her stuff. She really loved it. She's encouraging us. It's just the idea that we're giving other people voices.
Yeah. But here's one of the things I struggle with, like right in this moment. I'm not going to say names. But I think, and I'll use City Hall for instance. There's people, I would say, like counselors that have approached you and I and asked to come on because they want to talk about some things. And you and I are going, okay, that's meaty. But then at what point are we being used? Right? What point are we being used so they can grind their axe?
Well, the way I always approached it was,
please, tell me that.
Please use me, but I'm going to use you back because I'm going to put questions to you and be the devil's advocate of what you're trying to get across. So yes, they have an agenda. Everybody has an agenda, always. Shane had an agenda. Everybody has an agenda that comes in here of some sort. They want to get a message across. But that's your opportunity to question what their agenda is about and their motives, right? And where do they want to go with it? So you want people to want to use us.
Okay,
but we don't want to be used by just letting them go and say what they want without questioning it. That's the idea.
I guess, because I was a broadcaster for many years here, you were a journalist for many years. So I had a slightly different role, right? I wasn't investigative, hard-hitting questions when people coming in. It's sort of like more information-based and yeah, there was a back and forth that went, but it wasn't the same as a journalist. So I knew when I was being used and not when I was told I have to do this interview and whatever, but it's a little foreign to me, but it also feels a little icky sometimes. It's like, oh, I know what you're doing here.
Well, there's some transactional stuff involved for sure. We want interesting people that have something to say, that have some kind of utility, but we want to be able to question them as well.
Yeah.
So they're not going to come in here unless they get to say a little bit of what they want.
Right.
But you don't give them a free ride.
Right.
It's not free. You're going to be questioned. Anybody sitting in that chair, you can have a chance to say what you want to do, but we get a chance to question it.
How is I'm switching, I'm going to bounce around a little bit. How are we doing? We're on Cogeco now.
Yeah.
They're actually taking...
Mondays at 7. Yeah.
Mondays at 7. You can watch us on Cogeco.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Thank you to Joey and the team over at Cogeco. They're using our content, and we encourage people to watch us on Cogeco and get a cable subscription. You can't. You're out of town.
Yeah, I can't get the Cogeco where I'm at, but what's great about it is that we might pick up some more people for the newsletter. We might pick up a few people that see, because they're only putting 28 minutes of our podcast in. There's always going to be some more that they can come look at. So hopefully they come back to our website and they look at our stuff as well. So that's a little transactional. Cogeco gets the content. We're glad they do, but hopefully we get something out of it too.
Agreed.
North Bay Echo is proud to partner with Twigs Coffee Roasters, a part of the community since 1995. Twigs offers a wide selection of quality beans, fresh roasted in-house every day. Find your favorite specialty drinks at our espresso bar, rejuvenate with freshly squeezed juice, or treat yourself to mouth-watering selections from our gourmet deli. And don't forget our irresistible fresh baked goods, including uncompromising gluten-free options. Twigs has 5 locations to serve you, from North Bay to Sturgeon Falls to Sudbury. Order online for pickup at twigs.ca. And coming soon, you'll be able to order fresh roasted coffee beans direct to your doorstep from our distribution center in North Bay.
So I want to ask a question only because this affects our podcast. I find I can tolerate you much more when I'm drinking. And now there's an LCBO strike. It was interesting in our building, right? Because we have young and old, and the youth they want it in the corner store. And I'm going, why? Like, do we not have access to, drinks already all over the place? And the other part that I find interesting is that the LCBO is a juggernaut when it comes to money. They generate billions of dollars every year. And the billions actually goes back into our economy once again.
It funds healthcare.
Funds healthcare, funds schools. And those, I think, are pretty good jobs. The full-time people, jobs and benefits, and, they curate our all the different aspects of those libations, right? Mm-hmm. But if I need a beer, the beer store's open. Like I said to the one of the staff here, I said, I think I can go to the liquor store, like between 10 and 9 p.m., 7 days a week. What's not convenient about that? Do you need it at 9 a.m.? Do you need it at 10 p.m.?
Well, there's a difference between liquor stores and corner stores because they can't stock the wide variety that the liquor store can. Like in Corbeil at the old Voyer's place, I guess it's Lucky 13, they can barely keep the shelves full right now, right? Because everybody's going there for all the booze.
Right.
Mike Harrison there used to be with New Ontario and Wildwoods. He was letting everybody know where their products are, right? There's products out there for people. But the selection isn't the same.
Right. Yeah, I actually went because I was going away on a fishing trip. When it hit, I went, oh gosh, I don't have any of the stuff I need. I actually went to help me, not Corbeil. Astraville. Yeah. I went to Astraville to the food mart. And they had
a Fresh Mart. Yeah.
Fresh Mart? Yeah. And went there and got what I needed. And I think it was just starting the shelves were just starting at that point. That was the first weekend though. Mm-hmm. So it's probably bare now, right?
I don't need
does it need to be more convenient? Because at the end of the day, I think it's about a profit thing. Mm-hmm. Right? They're going to the profit is going to be now going into into Galen, what's his name? His pocket over at Loblaws, right? Mm-hmm. But they actually sell there. They sell you can get wine.
You can get wine and beer at different grocery stores, yeah.
So what more are they going to get then?
I don't know. But the real question is this good economic policy for the province to cut off a revenue-generating source and then not replace that with the profits now going elsewhere, right? Like they're giving up a revenue stream. Not at a time when we need to give up a revenue stream. Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. But so is it is Premier Ford saying because people are asking for this, they want more convenience and they want more access? But you're absolutely right. I'm thinking overall, you're going to lose some jobs and you're going to cut down a revenue stream that you once had, a significant revenue stream.
I think it's one of these shiny baubles that get thrown out there. He knows this distracts people through the summer. So we're not talking about the science center that he's selling out on. We're not talking about the lack of doctors. We're not talking about all these other more important issues. We're talking about where am I going to get my 26er?
Right.
So, and let's face it. Do we really need easier access in corner stores? It's going to, we're basing our economy on the taxes on, sin taxes on poison. Like the healthcare system doesn't need a bunch of alcoholics dying, right? We're doing the wrong thing here. I like booze.
So do I. But you make a great point.
I know what booze does, right? Yeah. And I don't think we need to make it more readily accessible. I don't think so.
I'm strangely agree with you. I strangely agree with you on this. But it is interesting. Younger people want the convenience. And it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, they want it delivered with their meal that they didn't cook, that they can't afford because they need to stay at home and cry because they can't afford a house because they're spending all their money on this other crap.
It's so true, though. I went to Dairy Queen. I'm a big Dairy Queen fan. I like my ice cream, right? And there's 3 people working behind the counter going, they're rocking it, right? Mm-hmm. I'm the only one in the place. I'm like, why are they so busy? I'm the only one here, right? I didn't order that much. I got a peanut butter parfait. But then I hear ding.
All these delivery
ding.
guys coming in and out. Yes.
I'm going, who is doing that?
Yeah.
Like, you're right, though. These young, like, skip the dishes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's incredible, the volume of that little piece of the economy, right? The gig economy. And money is no object. It's incredible.
Money's no object, but I don't have any. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I certainly don't have all the answers, and I don't live the perfect life, but I can't imagine. Like, I've had several conversations with people saying, it looks like I'll never be able to afford a home. And I'm like, when I was 31, I had to hook up with somebody to combine our incomes so that we could afford a down payment on a home because we couldn't do it ourselves. We're both in our 30s. We're both making decent money.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't qualify for a home for the same sort of thing in 1996, right? It's not easy. You have to double up with somebody when you're young. You have to either join forces, rent out. That's just the path towards what we got to do. And this lack of housing that's driving costs up. I think I saw a report that said North Bay is one of the leading higher 12% increase in the cost of homes here. We're like number 3 as far as the increase of the cost, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that changes when affordable housing is put in, government housing is done again, and then there's more access to, and the prices come down. Here's an example. I was talking to Anthony Cozio because he's in the news about the villa, and everybody's, about why do you rent to all these people? Well, somebody has to, or they're going to be on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
The other people that have places to rent are jacking up their rents so that they don't have to deal with people that can barely afford it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, every once in a while, you get stuck into a situation that has occurred here, and maybe he hasn't handled it perfectly himself, but what are you going to do with these people?
Right.
Right? What are you going to do with these people? And some of the people that are living there need to live into a place with it is affordable. So once in a while, somebody's going to get in there and make it bad.
And I'll throw out that I don't think it's every single tenant, right?
No, it isn't.
No, of course it's not, right?
They have one major problem tenant.
Yeah, one major problem tenant. And then they have it's with the laws that are in place, it's very difficult to remove that person.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're on the radar for the landlord, the police, everybody, the justice system. They know exactly who that person is, and they can't move the needle.
No, and it's not like the States. You can't require criminal record checks for tenants in Canada. It's against human rights.
Say it again.
You can't require criminal record checks as a reason to not rent to somebody.
But in our last,
you can't use that type of stuff to not rent to somebody.
In our last podcast, when we were learning about homelessness, it was interesting that wicked cycle where they would do a credit check though.
Yeah.
So if you were incarcerated at one time, if you were incarcerated, you probably have you haven't, I don't know how, depending on how long you've been in there,
you probably don't have good credit.
You probably don't have good credit, right?
But if you do a credit check, and this was what Anthony was telling me, and kind of off the record, but I'm going to say it anyways. He wouldn't be renting to anybody because nobody passes those things.
No.
You can make it so nobody passes those. All you have to do is say you have to have a credit
rating of whatever,
right?
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's hard to keep your credit rating. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, by the time they get
true. Like even in business here, like when I got into business in those early years, I was highly leveraged, and how you fight your way out of that's just part of the deal. That I probably had a terrible credit rating back then.
Yeah.
Right?
And I don't know. It's there's a lot of those issues. But hey, you want to talk about American politics?
Sure.
Well, where Trump was shot in the ear, my parents lived, Butler, Pennsylvania.
Oh, really? That's where they lived?
Yeah, and one of the victims of the other bullets was from New Moon Township, where I went to school from grades 3 to 6.
Yeah. Is it quite rural in that area? Only because it was like a farm field, or is it?
Yeah, there's a lot of rural places outside Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
proper, right? And Butler is 20, 30 minutes away from Pittsburgh, and Moon Township is closer to the airport, and so not not the Pittsburgh you see, like North Pittsburgh's very, is where more poor people live.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the white suburbs,
Yeah.
basically.
It was like I was away at the time, so I got dribs and drabs with actually where I was staying. There was actually a lot of Americans where I was staying in Northern Ontario, and some from Ohio and some from Michigan, and one had a Trump hat on, and so it was like, whoa, this was pretty scary, and it was like I saw some sort of graphic where they do like a 3D model of his head and everything like that, and you think about it, he got his ear clipped, and they show it. It's like, it was so close because it could have been anarchy after that, right? You take out someone who's so beloved by half of the country.
Most of the top Democrats know they don't want him assassinated because that would be a disaster.
It
right?
would be a disaster.
Yeah, so nobody wants him really assassinated.
No.
Except for some people that are... J.D. Vance, who he's picked to be his vice president running mate. I lived in Ohio, too.
Oh, yeah?
He's from Ohio.
Yeah.
Very redneck there.
I haven't read the book. Have you read that book?
No, the allergy one? No.
Yeah. Hillbilly allergies?
No.
Allergies?
Yeah.
Hillbilly allergies?
I had to look it up. I've never seen that word before. Yeah.
And but I believe there's a movie based on it on Netflix.
Yeah.
I see that. But it is, I don't know, I personally find it a scary time.
I've been asked what my opinion is as far as is Trump going to make it in? Is he going to be elected president? They're worried. A lot of people are worried.
Oh, sure. I don't think it benefits Canada in any way if Trump gets in.
No,
it'll benefit many things, but I don't believe it benefits us.
No,
as Canadians.
And even if Pierre Poilievre gets elected, no, they're getting into a protectionist thing. They don't care about Canada's relationship anymore. It's just not a thing.
Mm-hmm. Even though we're the number one trading partner with them.
Yeah, but they know that they can overpower us and do anything they want to do, and it's... Yeah.
Well, who can't they? Who can't they
well,
overpower?
they're right there. We're right there, right?
Yeah,
and Trump didn't even, the last free trade thing with Mexico. You see how that went down.
Right.
We learned our place real quick there.
But I have to say, and maybe I should tune out a little bit. I do get sucked into it that I'm watching because it's so dramatic. So many different things that you see.
I made a bet with a guy.
What's that?
He had I was delivering magazine actually down near Marshall Park, and he used to live out in Boonies. Anyways, he's already bet two of his friends $20 each that Trump's going to beat Biden. And I said, well,
feels like it right now, boy.
I'll bet you $10 that I'll bet you $10 that Trump does not get inaugurated. And he goes, I only want to bet if he's run against Biden. I said, my bet is that Trump won't be inaugurated.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So we have some really cool things happening with Lisa's show. Mm-hmm. That's on, I think, an uptick to North Bay with Love. We were out at the beef farm. That was a very popular one.
Yeah, it was a great. I hope you can listen to it. Where's the beef?
Yeah, where's the beef?
It's just outside of the city now. It's Angus beef. So what I heard in it, oh no, Ben's here because actually Ben said something during it. It was a great show.
I don't remember.
No, you did. You talked about how you can get the beef from that. I'd like to know, do I go out there to get the beef? Do I go online to get the beef?
You contact them through Facebook.
Yeah.
And then they either deliver it to you or you can go out to their farm.
Right.
And they have like these giant like freezers, like stand-up freezers.
Oh, yeah?
That they have all the meat and stuff, yeah.
Okay. I'd love to try it.
Yeah, because it comes all frozen. Like they send it off to an
frozen
abattoir.
By the
Abattoir.
Why have you been, you have, all this week you've been using big words. I want it to stop.
That's not a big word.
Well, I used the word...
It's a total big word.
Abattoir?
Waylaid.
You can't even say it.
Yeah,
That's how
waylaid.
you say it. Abattoir.
Yeah.
How do you say
I
it?
used the word waylaid. Do you
know what waylay means?
Yeah, it's... Oh, how do I explain this? I know what it means, but I don't know the exact...
That's
like
what I say when I can't explain it.
No, I know what it is. It's... Oh, God. It's
you're delayed by something, and the actual act and where the word comes from is people laying in a wait for you and they attack you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
ambush.
that?
And
Let's stop the
ambush.
big word thing, okay?
And so,
Big
when
word.
somebody
It's 7
couldn't,
letters.
Huge.
when somebody couldn't make it to our interview time,
Yeah.
They got caught up in something, couldn't make it. They were waylaid.
Years ago, when the North Bay Mall was actually a mall, I remember I was asked to MC the kids' spelling bee. I've never been more humiliated in my life when I couldn't pronounce most of the words. And I'm like, I'll never do this again. I'm being humiliated by these 6-year-olds.
Did you not practice?
Well, no, you just show up, they give you the stuff, and off you go. They don't give you stuff in advance.
Yeah, but you think, like, do they have phonetic spelling of them? So would it, no?
That's
Maybe.
funny. So you asked the judge, can you say that again?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know, just somebody in your profession's probably used to the phonetic side of how to, okay, I'm going to shut up now.
Well, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I admit it.
Speaking of the N7 Cattle Company, they're involved with Leon's for an upcoming fundraiser.
Oh, good.
It's going to benefit the Nipissing. Hold on a second. I got the wrong sheet here. Imagine that. Nipissing Country Music Association. They're trying to get the singing contest back up for next year.
Oh, that would be great. I miss the country open singing contest.
So Leon's is going to have a big barbecue. N7 Cattle Company's donating the burgers. August 8th and 9th. They're going to have musicians and music and a big party.
Nice.
And
Good
it's
for you,
the
Lynn Larondo.
Fundraise for that. August 8th.
Oh,
I think
that's
the burger's
terrific.
going to be $7. The money's going to help bring back the singing contest.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Is Harley Renault still involved with that?
Yeah, he's involved. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. In fact, if you want to get some or donate and be part of it, you email harleyrenaud@hotmail.com.
Okay. I'd like to see that come back. I haven't seen Harley Renault in a long time.
Oh, yeah?
He ages well. He's got a good head of
Oh,
hair.
we should have him on and promote what they're trying to do.
I'd love to. That'd be
Or
great.
maybe Lisa's show. Anyways, I was talking about Lisa's show. We ended up at Gateway Home Hardware this week. It's going to be in a future show.
Tell me about that. I love Gateway Home Hardware in Algonquin.
Well, it was pretty cool. When I was a little late coming in. Ben and Lisa were waiting. James had forgot, so he took off that morning to go wash a truck because somebody else showed up to cover. So he said, "Well, this is a good time for me to go," and he forgot all about it. So there was a little bit of delay, and I just said, "Come on down. We're going to go. We'll figure out something with some of the staff here." And we'll wait and see what happens. We're not leaving. We're not going to try to do it, right?
It is a unique store. There's nothing like it. And if you can go to any of the other major stores in town, and they'll all say, if they don't have it, go to Gateway Home Hardware.
Yeah,
everybody knows.
Yeah,
Everybody knows.
And
That's where you go get it.
And Lisa's mom goes there, and they treat her really well, and she's happy that there's a store like that she can go to, and they're really friendly.
Yeah.
And anybody that goes in there, they just sort of help them out, right? And it's a good store. Anyway, so that's a good one. We're also, I think this next Tuesday, you'll already have seen this by then, the horse ability. We went out there.
With Laurie Burns?
Yeah. So these are kind of neat.
Oh, these
neat
are great
things.
stories.
And getting out of the office, out of the studio, and on site.
Hi, I'm Natasha Laframboise, sales representative with the Laframboise team at Realty Executives Local Group Inc. Brokerage. We are a local real estate team here in North Bay. Our team of sales representatives, Matt Laframboise, Phil Seguin, and Adam Legros, are ready to help you through the buying and selling experience. We have been providing service to the North Bay and area community for over 17 years. Our goal is to provide knowledge, support, and guidance in order to prepare your home for sale, bring it to market using multiple selling strategies, and get it sold. As a home buyer, we have 2 buyer's agents ready to help you find your home sweet home. If you'd like to know more, check us out on our website, laframboiseteam.ca. We are always happy to help.
What else you want to talk about? We beat the hell out of the City Hall windows.
Mm-hmm. I did mention it to the CEO of the city.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he said something about checkerboard, right?
Yeah, he said, oh, you like the checkerboard? I go, it's not a checkerboard.
Yeah.
That's not what a checkerboard looks like. It's not a checkerboard.
It looks like chaotic.
And he just laughed at me.
Chaotic Tetris, almost.
Yeah, he just laughed at me.
I still think they should figure out a way to program the lights so it actually does something and it looks cool.
Yeah.
For when the Communities in Blooms judges are here.
Great.
I had a chance to sit with Harriet Madigan during the Ferris Fun Day. And July 28th to 30th. So everybody should spruce up their stuff.
Yeah. And their heritage gardeners are down there working their tails off right now. We got to go down and thank them. Just go down and do something nice for them. Be kind to them. Because they make it look, they do it for free, and they have to lobby all the time to get stuff, and they get it. And
some of the little old ladies there, I was down there, and I was checking out that inclusive sort of Canada Place thing.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had spray painted some stuff on there a couple weeks ago, so I was actually going to take a photo of it, but it's already been cleaned up. But as I'm getting there, the heritage gardeners were all packing up, and the ladies were they'd just given all they could. It was getting near noon, so they were hot. They've been there all morning, and they're doing a good job for the city.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we should bring some cold beverages down to them or something.
Yeah, so do something nice for them. Let's work on that. I think that's a kind thing we could do for what they do for us.
All right.
And speaking of that, down in that area, I really am happy to see more and more people using the beaches down there. Like, it's packed. People love it, and they're really nice beaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people are there, and I saw there was a bunch of kids. They must have been on a play day on their bikes and everything, and they went there, and they had all these bikes, and all the kids were in having a swim on a hot day, and I went, that's fantastic that you get to do that. That's 'cause I grew up in Scarborough, right? So you go down to the Scarborough Bluffs, and I don't know if we were allowed to go in. It was disgusting.
We sometimes don't remember how good we have it up here. All these other things going on in the world, and we have access to some beautiful lakes and beaches, so we can chill a little bit and sort of get away from that stuff.
I like it.
It's not as bad as it seems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is going to be a very popular discussion, seeing it's so nice, but
Yeah, and the weather hasn't been great.
no, it's been tough.
Yeah, and it's been windy. It's fine maybe for Trout Lake, but on Nipissing, when it's windy, you can't get out on the lake. You can go for swimming stuff still, but it's also pretty dangerous. Like, when it gets choppy, it can be dangerous. The swells can get pretty big, and people can be in danger.
I rushed home last night. It was one of the few dry nights I could hit the mow the back 40, and I wanted to make sure I cut some of the grass before I was out delivering magazines. I've still got lots of subs to do, and I stepped on a ground nest there. Got stung.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I was running.
Oh, hornet nests on the ground, they're the worst, and they chase you.
I was doing the Terry Fox across the yard.
Oh, those are nasty. Those hornets are nasty. You step on it. I've had it one other time, and they chased me right into the house.
Oh yeah,
it was like, oof. They're
so
nasty.
I got bit here, and I said, okay, that's enough of that. But
what guests would I just, as we get closer to wrapping this up, but what guests should we be working on? And then we encourage any of our followers to support us in getting some of these guests. So
we're about to embark on a little bit of a focus group thing. Anybody listening, you want to be involved with the focus group?
Just send us a note.
Yeah. But we want to know what's a good show for us? What are good guests for us? What do you think are good guests for Lisa? What are any ideas for Backroads Bill? And
I think he has endless stories.
Yeah, he can go on forever. But for us, I think, I want to interview Chief Scott McLeod. Right?
Oh yeah,
that's going to be a good
chief.
One.
Yeah.
And then I want to interview the new chief, Kathy Belfo.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever met Kathy.
Oh, okay.
Have you?
Yes, in passing.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay.
Of her, she kind of knows of me, I think, but not real friends or anything like that. Don't know each other that well. So I like the political stuff when it has social issues attached, and of course they are facing a lot of different things. So I would like that. Locally, there's some councillors that kind of bucking the trend. They have some things. I'd like to interview some people that have something to say about the council's good and bad progress or not lack of progress, because I think we really need to do a little bit more municipal stuff. I'm glad Peter was happy with us backing on him on the car allowance. I hope eventually we can interview him and talk about the city. And even if you got to interview him yourself there or whatever, I don't have to be in the room.
I don't know if it that kind of defeats the whole thing we've been working towards. Me trying to mend fences. Who would ever thought the Berlin Wall would have come down?
Yep.
That's sort of my goal. The
Well,
Berlin Wall between
let's
you
stick
two.
to that then and see how it goes.
Might take a bit, though.
Might take a bit.
He's not a fan.
Well, of course, I'd like to interview the head of the Landlord Association and
Oh,
talk
that would
about
be
some of those
interesting.
real issues that they're facing,
Yeah.
right?
I always thought, oh, that'd be interesting to have a place and you rent it and, and I'm thinking, no way would I do that. Even though it's an incredible investment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Real estate's a great investment.
Yep.
But no way would I want to do that.
Well, the rules of the game are stacked against the landlord at the moment
Yeah.
because it's so hard, and the tribunal's not able to. It's got a big backlog, so it's very delayed. People are abusing the system a little bit, and on the other side of it, tenants need rules to help protect them too.
Yeah.
So we got to make it so that people aren't afraid to be a landlord,
Right.
and tenants need to be protected. So if we're not there. It's not happening right now.
Right.
So yeah, that would be interesting. I think that's one of the major issues people are facing.
I just heard this. It was my wife Cheryl that told me this. Do you know now? And I'm trying to. I think we saw it on Facebook. You can get, which I think is fantastic. You can get. There's a company that will pick you up in their boat. They have one of those boats like those huge tin boats, the metal boats. Then the front comes down.
Right.
Yeah, they have a lot of them in the French River, right? Because of the rock and everything. But you can actually get it for a day, go have lunch out in the Manitous. They'll drop you off there. You can explore the Manitous, have it. I went, that's smart. I hope we can do more stuff like that. Like that. I think it's, because if you were visiting here, how do you get out to the Manitous unless you know someone, right?
Right.
The Manitous are beautiful. It's a provincial park, the Manitous, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I often, on a nice day, I'll take my boat out and go out there. The most beautiful beach. And there's lots of boats. Everybody's having a good time. You have a little barbecue. It's really, there's such beautiful spots. And I'm always amazed how many people have lived here all their life and never really been on Nipissing or have never been down the French, which is super special, right?
Yeah.
And have you been down the French?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the chief commander, and also I rented a cottage out there in Dukes First Nation,
Okay.
and I fished with some people from Nipissing Garden Village at the Manitous, and
Yeah. Oh, it's really. Oh, you've done like fisherman fishing with the netting and everything?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they go out and rod and reel too.
Okay.
Well, in the middle of summer, the fish are so far down, netting is hard to do.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess so, eh? Well, it's not that
They do it, but
but it is warm. Nipissing will get warm. You give it like 3 hot days and it's like soup. It gets so warm. It's not like trout. Trout's so deep.
Yeah.
Hence that's why we get our water from it. It's very, very different.
doesn't look like we have a guest for this show. So this is it, guys.
Where's our guest?
You got waylaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's those words again.
And you're off when this comes out. You'll be coming fresh off a few days off. Isn't that cool? After
Nice.
a week off fishing.
Yeah. I'm around town. Buddy's coming to visit, so
Yeah.
I'll probably be in and out. You'll see me.
Hopefully you're not too sore from the
fall?
city pothole.
Oh, he's sore. I'm gonna have a
Maybe you
doozy
should.
bruise.
I'm just going to put this out here. Maybe you should be watching where you walk.
Yes, it was my fault.
Well, thank you for joining us for another Echo Essentials podcast.
I'm Scott Clark.
And I'm Dave Dale. Please like, share, and comment.